Welcome back to 3-Word Story, the podcast where we take the wonderful geo-positioning app of What 3 Words. We find a specific area. It gives us 3 unique words, and we go above and beyond to create a story that may be good, may be bad, or may actually be factual. I'm here with my colleague and co-storier, Big Death of Dylan, of the African of South. How are you today, Big D?
Yeah, hey, not bad. Good day to have a podcast, I guess.
yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know what that means. What makes a good day for a podcast for you?
Honestly, I just have to be awake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You managed that today. You did postpone this by an hour and a half, just so everyone knows. So I assume you weren't awake beforehand to get to this point.
Yes. So, no, actually, I was... had some work to do this morning. I had my trousers fitted downstairs. That's actually why I was running late.
And it was nice of your dad to come in and help you with that. You'll get hold of those locks one day, Dylan. You'll get the hang of it. So thank you, Papa D, for doing that. You know, I did wonder why when I was driving in, I saw you walking to work in just your little Y-fronts, your little panties, but it is quite warm, so I thought it was just a heat thing. But
No.
Have they been altered?
Actually not. This I was so far wrong with these pants. So I purchased this suit back home in South Africa a couple of weeks ago, but I normally just fit the jackets, and I've got a very different build. How would you describe that build? Very short legs, and the upper body, short legs, maybe thick, as some people would call it these days.
Is that a THICC thick?
Yeah. I can't spell anyway, James. So
that's true. It could be anything. That's fucking thick, that one.
But anyway, so I bought this pants, and the waist is like a size 34, and I was like, well, that's way too big for my waist. And when I fitted, so I assumed it was going to be too big anyway, or too large. And I was like, I would have to have these altered because I'm very short, and normally like 20 centimeters have to be cut off my pants. Like obviously down
can
at
you make
the bottom.
Shorts out of them?
Yeah. so kind of that. And then so I was like, no, these are way too large. I'll have them tailored, not a problem. Coming in this morning, I was like, well, you know what? I'm maybe, but kind of pushed for time. But considering it's down the building, or I mean downstairs, so I thought, let me quickly do it. And when I put on these pants, they were incredibly tight.
Nice.
Like I could hardly fit into them, and this particular tailor was waiting for me to get dressed, and he's like, oh no.
Oh no. So I see your shaft, sir. I see your shaft.
So I was like, yeah, so never mind. This was a completely useless exercise, but that made me even later than I was going to.
So is there anything that can be now done to these trousers?
I guess lose weight, or
fair enough. Gain height, lose weight.
Gain height and lose weight.
So the two pants together, cut a hole like through them, and wear as a kilt.
Yeah,
it should be another one.
Right. Let me do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you and I'll pull it in your weird bastard.
Stick it up here.
Yeah. Who knew, Brinky?
How knew,
I mean, okay, well, fantastic. Well, I mean, at least you weren't just sleeping. You were failing at altering your trousers.
Yes.
The most bizarre. So just it's thick, THICC, but short.
Yes.
SHORT.
Yeah. And that actually kind of links into the story, I guess.
Later on. Okay, brilliant. What a fucking good segue. That was almost professionally radio done. So today we have chosen the words based on our first schools. Okay, so we've gone on to What 3 Words, and we've searched our primary school, or whatever the fuck you call it, in South Africa, and then it gives us these unique 3 words. So how was school for you, Dylan?
Yeah, school was fun. I don't think I was the sharpest pencil in the packet. However, I was eager to learn.
What else could you want?
Yeah.
Who said that? It's the short kid with the funny trousers.
It's the little guy in the kilt.
Yeah, he keeps tripping over his trouser legs. His parents just think he will grow into it one day, but
Like, honestly, the feedback that I got after school was, Dylan, you could have worn bigger trousers. So, yeah, I think that's
Really?
Yeah, I think
Like,
I'm being
your baby penis
I'm being
keeps
serious, yeah.
poking out somehow, which is incredible.
It's, yeah. So, I don't know. It's a recurring theme. Maybe I should have just gotten bigger trousers growing up. Anyway,
Maybe. What a trouser-centric episode this is so
it's
far.
actually terrible. I actually want to move away from it and actually saying how school was for me. Yes, I enjoyed school. I enjoyed break more so than anything else. Math.
Give your brain a rest.
Yeah. Give my brain a rest from having the rest.
Yeah.
So, no, I was terrible at maths. I enjoyed languages.
What was your favorite language, Dylan?
This is ironic, actually English. But
What happened?
What happened? But because, so just to kind of give people insight, it was English first additional language. So it's not at the level.
What does that mean? Is it first additional, like caveman level?
Or no? So first additional language. So meaning it's not your home language. It's English at kind of a second tier level, or like it's easier.
Okay, so it's not
So
like it's
for-
not
not
ye
for
olde
native-
English then.
yeah,
So I thought
yeah.
like first edition was like ye welcome thy
No,
to
thy to wonderful-
thy schooleth.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that wouldn't do much good for you. I would appreciate if you brought it to the podcast back to the first edition of thy improvised storeth. But anyway, so first edition.
Yeah, first
English,
additional
ye olde
language.
English.
So yeah, Afrikaans was my first language, and that I could speak fairly well. But because that level was higher, I automatically scored lower on test results because the test was more difficult. But now, because because English was the first additional language, they made it a lot easier, and a lot of Afrikaans kids can't speak English well at all.
And apparently you can't speak Afrikaans either
yeah,
if you
well,
didn't do well. So you're fucked either way.
It was kind of like a 60%, 60-70%, like kind of in most cases. And then when it got to English at that particular level, it was like distinction. So
Okay, well, congratulations. You were distinguished.
yeah,
You
thank
distinguished.
you. Yeah,
at,
in the
ye olde
second
English. Well, that's nice. I mean, I can't remember really how good I was in primary school. It was Ashcombe. Ashcombe was my primary school. And the slogan was "Achieve to Grow." Across our sweaters, jumpers, whatever you call them. So you would have failed immediately because you failed to grow and still are yet to grow. So I did okay with that. I was relatively tall personally, so I did quite well at school. I was a chonky boy. So whereas you are now thick, TICC, in the thighs, I was thick all over. My grandmother had a penchant for feeding me cheese on toast by the plateful.
Listen, there's a difference between thick and fat. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right. I was
All
fat.
right,
Dylan.
Dylan.
All right, I had
All
big
right.
old milky titties for a kid. Okay, I had big old juicy titties and a rump behind that you could literally sit a child on and take around on like on a tour. So, I was okay at school. I did fine. Whatever the exams we just did the standard subjects. I had a crippling lisp. So I spoke like this.
No bullshit.
So no, I spoke like this.
No.
So my name is James, and I spoke like this.
So you were a tad bit overweight, or you were?
No, I
chunky
was
as
a
you
chunky
put it?
boy,
Oh,
like
you were,
as in
okay,
my
so-
titties sat on my belly. You know, like if I sat down, it looked like a disgruntled frog looking at you. If I didn't have my
Okay,
t-shirt.
okay. Well, but normally, or at least in most cases, like people kind of grow into their fat amount, or like. But you were rather tall from the get-go, and then rather biggish. So that's an interesting one. So
My
you were big
grandmama just fed me and fattened me up on a Sunday morning watching wrestling. Would you like a pallet of cheese on toast? And of course I would say, yes, grandmama. She would walk in after. She would like, would you like another pallet of cheese on toast? And I said, yes, grandmama.
And where was the oven like in this hole? Like it feels like a Hansel and Gretel story.
Well, Hansel and Gretel notoriously fat little German boys, so
Yeah.
I basically was like, Grandma, please give me more cheese and toastons, and I would like a dip in the bucket, because we had a bucket was just full of snacks and chocolates and crunchy bars.
Okay, I get it. I see. Like it was fairly accessible to have.
It was extraordinarily accessible, so much so that pretty much every single one of my baby teeth that I lost was actually lost on what is called a crunchy bar, which is like a honeycomb kind of golden. Do you have a crunchy?
Yeah, we actually do
so
have
Cadbury's crunchy. So I would say at least 60% of my baby teeth were lost to those bars. So how some people would go to
Did you manage to find them?
What, the teeth?
Yes.
Oh, it would be like you'd bite into it, but you would know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a wobbly tooth. What do some kids do? They either pull them out, go to the dentist.
You just chowed down.
What I did was
crunchy. Yeah.
crack out a crunchy bar, nom down on it, tooth gone. No bueno. So that's kind of the level of the trail of diabetes that I was heavily onto. Thankfully, in secondary school, which I'm sure we'll get onto another time, puberty hit and sorted me out. So riddled with a lisp, chonky boy with fat old titties resting on that
School
belly.
couldn't have been easy for you. Not to go down too deep. But holy shit. Man.
It was horrible. I think that's maybe where I sharpened my sense of humor, obviously to get away from the fat titty jokes. But I don't, from what I can remember, I didn't really have much of that, to be honest. I don't know if people were afraid of...
Just because you were a larger kid, they were like, oh, shit.
I mean, I just got on with people. I got on with it. So,
okay, that's fair.
other than that, so I was very much on a different path of where you end up, where I end up now. I starred in a couple of school plays. Fantastic Mr. Fox. I was the fantastic Mr. Fox. And I was a little fucking dork. Like, honestly, if I could go back and slap me as that age, I would, because I knew everyone's lines. And when someone didn't know their lines, because there's a VHS copy of this.
You are the Emma Watson of the...
Yes, fantastic Mr. Fox. You could see my little fucking shitty face kind of like looking like, I know your words. It's bogus bunts and bean, one fat, one short, one lean. Like, what a little fat dickhead I was. And I was also cast as our head teacher in our year 6 play. And I thought that is a great achievement. Yeah. You're like, wow, I'm going to be cast as the head teacher.
As the head teacher of the teacher currently at your school.
Yeah, like, so I was playing him.
That must be fun, and that kind of gives you freedom to really kind of hit it out the park. Or
I thought maybe
give them some shit.
Exactly, I thought maybe it's because I'm super funny. Maybe because I'm so witty. On reflection, as I said, there's a VHS copy of my time in Fantastic Mr. Fox, and the head teacher comes out afterwards. It can only be described truly as a extraordinarily effeminate man. I mean, I'm talking, well, thank you so much, children. Thank you so much for coming, and the parents and everything. Oh, right. And we're talking, and no disrespect to the man, he was a lovely man. We're talking, I think it's called in the LGBT community, flaming. I think it's when you are so flaming with sexuality that you would call him a flaming man. Burning with homosexual energy. And I just want to make this clear. He was banging the Spanish window cleaner, apparently, which I learned later on in life. So it's not like I'm just putting him in a box, right? He was very much of
the window cleaner that is, I'm assuming,
of the primary school that I was at. So,
considering you said homosexual, so yeah. So the male.
But that's who Spanish, I was cast to play as a chubby little soft boy with a lisp, and a love for flowers and skipping in the dandelions. Not so much that, but
okay. So I understand the kind of artistic side of you, kind of creative side. You did a couple of school plays. I actually did a couple of school plays, but only in high school. But again, we'll go into that later. But primary school, no, I don't know. I played a bunch of sports. I think I was a fairly. We should probably get into it, but anyway, Not into that, but into
get into the little
episode.
boy. Let's get into that little boy.
No, I wanted to say like I think I was 3.8 kilos. Now I'm going back to birth, but
I was going to say, fuck me, you're a small child.
Yeah.
Who brought that fetus in?
And what did his other butt cheek weigh? So no, it was 3.8 kilos at birth, and then I was born 2 weeks too early, and then I kind of and then I felt like a fattish kid. Then I started doing some sports in primary school, kind of slimmed myself down, actually to the point where I figured I was going to be a bodybuilder because I was so short. So
At what age?
Probably about 11, 12. So I did gymnastics as well. So it was kind of like proportionately I looked like a gymnast, like a pretty bulky gymnast from a fairly young age. And then so it was kind of from there.
Okay, because I thought like maybe at 8 years old is a bizarre thing to think that my true calling is greasing myself up and posing in tiny little chunkies.
I'm sure we can dig down into the archives and you could see my poses. So even at 8 years old, I did some bodybuilding poses. So that's actually
we'll make an Instagram. We'll put it on there. And I'm sure we'll get loads of pedophilic subscribers.
Yes,
so, we need the numbers at this point, as the only person listening is the person who edited this and who is thinking, what the fuck? What are these doing?
Yes, George, thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre. Like as a kid, you don't really notice what the fuck you're doing because in our talent show last year, we had a talent show, and me and my two friends, Nathan and Jamie, we're talking at the age of 10, 11, decided to sing the seminal classic Tom Jones' Sex Bomb. So we're 11 years old, like, sex bomb, you're my sex bomb, and you can give it to me when I need to come along. Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb, and baby, you can turn me on. Is as an infant child, we sang to the rest of our school. Now, the interesting thing, the only thing I really want to touch on, I just want to put this out in the ether, is we had to have like trials or like an audition beforehand.
So you just wanted to prove you could
be sexy. I could be on the stage. And it clearly wasn't to check if it was appropriate or not, because it fucking wasn't. Children singing Sex Bomb. But that wasn't enough for our head teacher. He said, wouldn't it be a great idea to start the song facing away from the audience and thrust your hips, as in like humping, and then when it turns on, when the song gets in, you turn around and then you're bam at the audience and then you're just humping along. You're just their little kid.
You didn't have private lessons with
No. I mean, a lot of it is blank to me. I can't really remember too much, but all I remember is that I don't believe the humping was there before the audition, but the humping was there after in the main show. And so there we are, 3 little kiddies, sex bomb, you're about just swinging our little teeny kitty wieners towards a load of other kiddies. Really fucking bizarre, but they let it happen. But the worst thing of it all, Dylan, we came second to last. We came second to last because, of course, wrong audience, right? You got reception who are like fucking 4 years old. They don't know what sex is. The wrong audience. But again, kudos to Troy and Ben who won with Barbie Girl. Right audience. They dress up as girls. Makes sense. On hindsight, so you had transgender, you had freaking, kids humping at the crowd, and you had kids in white pointed hoods with a burning cross. They came in third. That one didn't happen. That one didn't happen. That one I made that one up, to be honest. But I just thought I'd throw
listen, it's anonymous. I mean, I'm sure if you do it now, I think actually Monday morning meeting's coming up, so I'm sure if you start the meeting like that.
Which one? The cross one or the hump one?
No, I should probably say the hump one.
Yeah, okay, the hump one. Okay.
Let's not.
Cool. Well, if England win the Euros tonight, as it's hopefully coming home, then I can possibly pump out a hump or two.
All right.
Okay, alrighty then. So,
sure.
So our 3 words. This has probably gone on way too long.
Yes.
Hey, hosies. Your 3 words, Dylan, for your primary school are?
Ponies.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I actually feel like it works. Ponies.
Yep.
Panel.
Okay.
Surprise.
Oh,
right.
I felt a surprise at the end of that one.
I actually thought this one, and this was, so with this app, you've got, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to, but sometimes I tend to cheat a bit because you don't have to click just on one block. It's kind of a couple of blocks, regarding
because
the school.
The squares on this app are ultra small. So your primary school could cover 20, 30 squares.
So literally I just worked off of the main building and I clicked on 2 squares. And this was the first square that I clicked on. And honestly, I think I really got handed a golden opportunity, which I'm not looking to mess up, or which I hopefully don't mess up. But with Ponies, Panel, and Surprise, I think it's great.
I like it. Were they in that order, or did you leave the surprise to the end?
No. Actually, no, it was Ponies, Panel, Surprise. So nice. that was really, I thought, wow, look at the... Oh, fuck it, there goes my English again.
It takes you back to school. Oh, no.
Was it alliteration? Is it alliteration?
Yeah. Like if it was 3, like
but
Ponies, Prize, Piss Take, that would be...
So
that's when you need a pop guard for those kind of words.
For that.
Okay, so Ponies, Prize.
Ponies, Panel.
Ponies, Panel, Surprise. Right, so my 3 words for my primary school, very similar to yourself. I started on and in the first square,
horses, and
and hose.
Right.
Yeah. So what I actually had was the first word of the original one was lofts, which for those who may have ever heard, the first one we did was the first word that I had previous. So I thought there's only so much we could talk about Anne Frank. I think we're going to move on, like the rest of the world should, about Anne Frank. So my 3 words for this time are resist, damp, and navy. Resist, damp, and navy. And those are my 3 words that I am going to use. So I think we now need to go away, come up with our stories, and come back, and we are going to smash these 3-word stories.
Let's go.
We'll be back after this break. So, hi, Dylan. We're back over an enormous break that we just had, and we definitely had it. We've gone away. We've had our 3-word stories. We've made some notes, and we're going to come in hot. Now, we need to decide, as we did before, who says the first story. Now, as before, the only thing we could find was a little delicious, strong menthol-flavored candy known as a Tom-Tom. And it was very much either Tom-Tom or no Tom-Tom. So we're going to flip the Tom-Tom. Are you ready? Tom-Tom or no Tom-Tom?
I'll go Tom.
You're going to go Tom-Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to go Tom.
I'm going to flip the Tom-Tom.
Yep.
We've gone Tom-Tom. So, biggest death, for the first time in 3-word story history, in the second episode, you are going to tell us your story. And before you start, could you please remind me and the listeners your 3 words?
So, hello, Pop God. It would be Ponies, Panel, and Surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Take it away, Dylan.
Take it away. No pressure. Right, so, well, with Ponies, Panel, and Surprise, you're thinking, Dylan, don't incriminate yourself by admitting how you surprised the pony.
With your penis panel.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Or if there was, I don't know, some sort of panel involved there as well, it might be a syndicate of people surprising ponies
with panels.
Anyway,
coming to the dark web.
So, right, yeah. This time, let me just say this beforehand. I'll go with a different story. The previous time, I told a bit more of a story about
I just want to point out, as this is an audio medium, you cannot see. For no apparent reason, Dylan has one arm raised right in the air, like he's desperate for someone to answer a question of his. I knew it because I'm taken aback. I don't know if I'm going to be bitch slapped from across the room.
I actually have no fucking idea why I did that. And honestly, without going into it too far, but sometimes I fall asleep with a remote like this, like upwards in the air. It doesn't fucking make sense at all. Like I would lay down and I'd keep my hand up into the air. So I don't know, maybe muscle memory just took over. But let me get back into it. This time I'm telling a bit more of a, I'm not saying it's not factual, but it's not based on myself. But here the story goes. Hopefully it doesn't bore anyone. So no. Let's start off with not deep at all. God created all things, right? Heaven and earth, right? So he's almighty, and I'm sure he had a pretty big workload, and thus the first thing he created before anything else was a panel, right? Okay. A panel of people just to kind of share the workload, right?
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, it must be. Let's call them Larry, Bob, Dick, and Susan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right, as part of this panel to help him create all things, and they kind of then went with the animals. They kind of started at a point. I'm not sure what was first, the chicken or the egg, whatever, but they...
That's for another day.
That's for another day. Yeah. But they kind of just figured, okay, let's just jump right into it. Let's have a meeting. So they started off with animals. And I'm not sure how the hardware regarding creating the animals worked, but just in terms of creativity. So, Bob.
So what you're saying is, all right. So we're aware that there is a panel that working, but you don't want to divulge how they made it.
But to be fair, I'm like, I'm not sure how the animals would get created. In terms, I can't think they've got an assembly line, so I'm not going to go into that sort of things, but I'm talking about ideation of the particular animals and kind of the traits of them. So we've got a panel, right? And now Bob was like, you know what? Killing machine. Let's start off with...
Jesus, Bob, you've only just created the fucking things. Right,
Bob, we haven't even got things to kill, but even like, yes, killing machine.
But we need to sort these out somewhere. All right. Okay, so Bob's a fucking lunatic. That's good to know.
So he was like, yes. Right, killing machine will go for agile, fast fangs, stealthy, and they will be terrible pets for the human race. Yes. So carnivores, thinking tigers, lions, kind of anything in that line. We kind of thought, okay, we'll kind of stick a pin into that. He was kind of thinking more cat-like, stealthy, agile. Da-da. Then they move on to kind of Dick. Dick was like, okay, I'm going to bounce off of your idea. Yeah. So mine is like yours, Bob, but just more fluffy. Or big and fluffy, eats a shit ton of food, and shits a ton of food, and sleeps 100 days out of the year.
And that day, Dylan was made.
And that is then that's your bear. So he kind of figured, so Bob went for the cats, the cat-like family. Dick went for...
Sorry, just to interrupt. Is that where the animal Bobcat comes from?
Oh, no.
Oh,
yes.
Shit. Okay, sorry.
I just shut that down. No.
Shut up.
I don't like your sense of humor. I don't like your joke. No, that's not how it works. Okay, this is my story.
Sorry. It was a different Bob, but it was a different cat.
It was, yeah. It was actually Dick's idea, but anyway. But they couldn't call him Dick Cat.
Yeah, no, it doesn't go down well when you dick a cat.
Anyway, so yeah, you just kind of figured that let's kind of create a bear. But sorry, I know this is kind of going off the rails, but interesting fact.
Yeah.
And I read this article another day, and I'm not shitting on Americans, but this particular article said, and don't get me wrong, I'm not sure what their testing group was, but 6% of Americans think they could beat a grizzly bear in a 1v1 match.
And
just fight the bear. Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you called it a dick bear, they would be less likely to want to fight that.
No, I ain't doing that. I ain't
no fighting no dick bear. I don't want no bear dick inside me. Get that dick bear away from me.
It's funny is like we go to the southern states, but honestly, I think the southern states probably have more of a chance to beat the bear.
Do they mean like fight, like fist fight?
Yeah, like fist fight the bear. No, it's like no guns. No. They could straight up. I checked this because I was like, surely these people don't think they've got a chance at something that stands between, like on shoulder level, 1.5 meters tall, like without standing up. With it standing up, and I actually Googled this, is 2.7 fucking meters tall.
Are you Gary in this situation? You're trying to tell me that this is what you meant? Bone density to match a fucking hyena. The agility of a falcon.
Anyway, so no, I just wanted to bring that up. And the most stupid thing is like when people say, like, no, make yourself bigger. I'm like, it's like if I had to go into this metaphorical fight, then I'm like, he's 2.7 meters tall standing up. That's
why you need bear stilts.
But anyway, yeah.
Get your bear. Last one, if you ever go into the woods, take your bear stilts with you.
Bear stilts. Yeah. Run in bear stilts.
Patented, by the way.
Anyway.
James's bear stilts.
This is the exact same conversation that Bob and Dick had in this panel discussion.
Bobcat and Dick.
Right. Yeah. Bobcat, Dick. Anyway, so Larry kind of heard all the violence, and figured, man, this is just too much. I'll go with something even bigger than a bear. I'll go to this particular animal, create it even bigger. I'll give it an exceptional memory, but it only eats plants. Right?
Suspense is killing me.
Then we'll add a trunk to the middle of its face. Penis face. Well done, well done, Larry.
Oh, you fucking childish bitch, Larry. We're trying to take... You've just got fucking big-eared penis face. Let me guess, the ears are meant to be the balls, and the
well
trunk's
done,
meant
Larry.
to be dick. Oh, fucking Larry, you creep. Right, so we got Bobcat, Dick Bear, and the big grey dick face.
Oh man, there's a recurring theme here. I should have checked it. But so, no, needless to say, Larry was kind of the oddball. I'm assuming of the group,
the fun guy of the group.
Yeah.
He made mushrooms, yeah.
Well, interesting fact. I know him. Interesting fact. They kind of do consume amarullas. For those who don't know, is the amarula plant contains alcohol, or it doesn't contain alcohol, but in the hot African sun, it kind of ferments and creates alcohol. So elephants actually eat them and get drunk on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So elephants get
Was
drunk.
that an actual fact?
That's an actual fact. Yeah.
Wow, this just got factual.
So that's why if you see the amarula bottles, it's got a major elephant like in the middle, because they actually do get drunk off of the amarula fruit back home. Yeah.
Wowzers trousers. So elephants are shit-faced most of the time.
I wouldn't say most of the time. If they could find fermented enough amarullas, and I remember this fact dating like way back, myself trying to eat amarula fruits as a child, knowing this fact, I'm like, I'm gonna get drunk. Like me and my friends, or my friends and I, then used to, just grab a shitload of amarula fruit and I don't know, eat enough of them to try and get kind of tipsy. Yeah. Tastes like shit.
So that's why the elephant's front dick face doesn't work, because they're just constantly too drunk. It's just flopping all
It's
the
too
stuff.
drunk.
Oh, right. An edit cut break.
Boom.
3-word story.
3 words.
Right, back to the story.
And back to the story. Right. So anyway, Susan, the only female in this particular panel, she was like, okay, let's go for an animal. Yeah. Was she was like something poised. She said, hey, let's make something with a long face.
She work in a bar at the time?
but let's make a long face that humans can make a shitty dad joke about.
There we go.
Oh yes,
nice.
Walked right into it. Anyway, so but the main thing for her was, all right, the human race is weak, so we'll create an animal that could just assist with some transport. Right, so she kind of thought of the horse, which obviously has helped us immensely with the workload, and
And
then,
comparison of penises as well. Horses have helped us dramatically with that.
well, I kind of actually just wanted to steer away from that, considering I normally focus on the penis.
I think every single person, every single animal has been related to the penis. One way or
yeah.
another.
So I kind of felt no, we'll steer
away,
clear of it.
sorry.
But then, boom, Bob was like, you know what? Surprise! We'll take this exact same line of animals, and then we'll just create miniatures of them.
Oh,
right?
Shit.
Yeah,
Bob's,
right.
Bob
Just
sounds like a good time. I like.
just to improve fuel consumption.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair-
yeah. So
that's fair
just
enough, yeah.
just shrink it down.
And I
make
assume
it so
knowing Bob, the fucking psychopath, he probably wants things for his killing machines to kill.
to
right?
kill.
I
So
imagine,
he does. So he kind of just wants this the smaller thing. But yes, I kind of tried to work in surprise over there. I did have the tried working surprise into there about the miniature thing, and that is how he created the pony. But the pony, just to add it to the story. Interesting fact, is pound for pound stronger than the large penis horse, right? Pound for pound stronger,
Okay.
right? Which actually makes me think a lot of myself. But surprise! I actually just wanted to say I have a big cock.
Nice.
Nice. All right, so I got yeah. So yeah, that was basically my attempt in working in.
and finding a date on the Medium of podcast.
Yeah, yeah. So
By
that
the way,
was-
ignore all the short talk. I have a big dick.
yeah, so I use this whole story just to kind of bring it back, full circle moment. Yes, ponies, yes, might be small. However, they still have a large penis.
I never saw that coming as well because that was the first mention of penises for that entire story.
Yeah, right. So I think I need to go to some kind of shrink. But yeah, that was my 3 words. It was ponies, panel, surprise.
Thank you very much, Dylan. I mean, the panels, I just had like a square fucking, panel in my mind. I didn't actually think of a panel, a board of people. Genius. And I love how we've explored the origins of Bobcat and Dick Bears. Like, we now know where they come from, where the pony originated from. So, incredible stuff. Those at home, comment, how did Dylan do on Instagram that we'll make, I'm sure. Tell him, was he right? Was he wrong? Are there Christians out here that are pissed? That are pissed now that God actually had a panel of people? And what are you more annoyed about? That God had a panel or that there was a woman on the panel? Please tell us in the comments. Next up, my 3-word story.
Yeah, that's fair, James. Yeah, I'm actually excited for. I'm always excited when you open. That sounds.
Open your dick up. Dylan, see the psychiatrist, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, for fuck's
Right,
sake.
so I'm going to be honest with you, Dylan.
Yes, sir.
I phoned it in again. Last week or whenever it was. Didn't put much preparation into it. And I had to go on the interweb and find what turned out to be a true story. So, again...
I call bullshit already.
No, Dylan. Honestly.
Yep.
There's been today, we'll see when this comes out, how much in effect. There's been an enormous piece of news that's happened today where an old man representing the Republicans attempted to headbutt a bullet, but he missed, and it just grazed his ear. And that is basically all I've been looking at, been tuning into the news, been thinking, what is now there for the Western free world where there is a choice between a guy who cannot finish a fucking sentence to save his life, pot kettle black, me, fuck me,
Yes,
can't even say a sentence myself.
Yeah.
And a man who literally cannot be assassinated. So there's only one fucking winner there. Yeah, Dylan, that happened.
That just fucking hit me. I was actually just thinking about a joke of another Republican that I wanted to throw in there, and I couldn't get to one. So actually, I was blank. Like if there was a camera on my face, I was literally just thinking of a joke, and I wasn't paying attention until it hit me. Like
the bullet hit his ear. Yeah. So DJ Trump survived an assassination attempt. Someone shot at him. He grazed his ear. Secret Service jumped all over him. And no matter what you think about Donald Trump, right? Whether you're for him, whether you're against him.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I'm not going to say either way. There's pros and cons of the guy,
Sure.
as there is with every guy. But the guy got up afterwards. He pumped his fist in the air, and he looked fucking cool, right? Like you cannot take. He had crimson face, blood all over his face. Just survived a fucking assassination and pumped his fist in the air. How is a man who cannot utter a sentence, who introduced the president of the Ukraine as the president of Russia? Like, there's only...
Oh, he did that on purpose.
No, but he had to. Surely he had to, Dylan. Like, there is only... He could have said anything. He could have said the Prince of Darkness. President Zelensky. He could have said... the
and honestly, with kind of the energy he probably oozes, he probably will, just to piss off people, just to I honestly do think he does some of these things maybe a tad bit strategically, because I mean, like you say, you have to, you can't just make that mistake, surely.
Like, surely someone said to him, you can call him whatever
if you want.
Fuck you.
Just
call him Elmo of the fucking Sesame Street if you want to. Just don't call him President Putin. Just the one thing, right? Please. And then that's the one thing he did. But anywho, this is not a political podcast.
That's fucking
We're
crazy.
going to move on from this.
Yeah, sure.
But what I'm trying to say is...
I'm still...
Exactly. So you see how I feel. So when I'm trying to, conjure a story with extreme emotion, creativity like yours had, I faltered. Mm-hmm. So I went to Google and I saw what I could find that has happened in the real world that I can regurgitate to you, and maybe pass it off a little bit as my own, and also educate the audience about a certain individual. Now, I regret to inform you that, again, we go to the land of film and the land of actors and celebrities, as we have done previously. But here goes. So let me take you back to 1992, Dylan. And just a reminder of the words.
All right.
Just to go back.
Okay, sure.
No,
yeah.
Right, so we've just gone back to 1990. Can we now go back to 2024?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, well done on that.
Yeah.
That's a Dylan move.
Yeah,
well
right.
done.
Yeah, now we're going to come back. Now we're in 2004. Sure. Right, we're going to leave 1990. We're in 2004. And my words are resist, damp, and Navy. Resist, damp,
Navy.
and Navy. So we're now going to leave 2024 and we're going to go back to 1992. Hello, 1992. We have the film of its time, Under Siege. An incredible film starring the superstar, internationally renowned superstar, that is Steven Seagal.
Ooh.
So back in the early 90s, you may or may not be aware, Steven Seagal was crushing the
fucking skulls.
Planet.
Yeah.
Crushing skulls, crushing films. I assume they only didn't give him an Oscar because he would have slammed down whoever was on that stage and smashed the Oscar around his head.
That Aikido master. 100%, yeah?
Aikido, karate, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, fighting tigers, fighting dragons, apparently...
And no crouching ones.
And no crouching.
Yeah.
They were stood up.
Yeah.
They were created by Bob himself to send to kill him, and he said, no, I'll keep the fuck out of you.
Yeah, I'll use your energy against you, bitch.
Exactly. That's how he does. We've all seen the videos of the dozens and dozens and dozens of hapless individuals who are highly trained athletes themselves coming towards the Steven Seagal and being flipped on their ass, being swatted aside by the masterful genius Aikido, karate, judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu of Steven.
He didn't pay us, by the way. This is
no. There is no chance. There is no. You cannot fake that.
McDojo.
We'll get the videos up, and you tell me if they're fake. I call bullshit on you.
All right,
they are factual.
Yeah, sure.
So we go back to 1992. Steven Seagal. He has just starred in the seminal film, Oscar-worthy film Under Siege, where Steven Seagal plays a cook on a ship. He typically used to be a Navy SEAL in that film. So we're talking, he is the height of badass. He is the height of macho, the height of everything.
And the height of 6'2".
And approximately 6'2", and some many, many pounds. of muscle, of
muscle.
unbridled muscle. At the time, he was indestructible, undefeated, never-ending success. But, Big D, he had an issue. For every movement, every sideward step, every kick, every judo throw, any aikido flip, there was a deep pain within him. And I don't mean emotionally, because Steven Seagal, as we know, has no emotions.
Oh, no.
You cannot be so hardcore and have emotions.
If Iceman had a mentor,
it was him.
It was him. Even though the movie is after. But anyway.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure.
Steven Seagal at this time surpassed time.
Mm-hmm.
He popped up in the Bible. He popped up in the Magna Carta. He was everywhere. To say that at this point in 1992, Steven Seagal was on top of the world. But he had a deep pain with him in. Not emotional, but deep between the gap of his bumhole and his ballsack, as we know as the gooch. Now, the gooch was actually termed by Steven Seagal himself because he had, unfortunately, a cyst, a painful cyst that let out some odor. So he would take his favorite brand of aftershave, Gucci, and spray it in between his balls and bumhole, thus coining the phrase gooch. That came from Steven Seagal himself.
Hey, listen, if it's from him, I honestly I believe it as word.
You have to. No,
100%.
Dylan, I want to stress, this is a factual story. I've not made this up. This has come from Google itself. This has come from his biography, My Under Siege Gooch. And this comes directly from it. Written by himself in the blood of his victims. And he sold over 200 million copies. So that is a lot of victims.
Yeah, that's
a
fair.
lot of victims.
100%. Sure.
So yeah, it's day to day, he was in this crippling pain. He obviously hid it from the outside world because we need to know that Steven Seagal was our savior. Not our Lord and Savior, but our savior. So, Steven, Mr. Seagal, goes to the doctors. Finally, he's had enough. He doesn't want to live in this pain anymore. And he goes, "Hey, doc, will you help me get rid of the cyst?" And the doctor, "Well, Steven, I'll see what I can do about getting rid of the cyst for you. Because there's one thing I can do is get rid of cysts. But I can't put them back. I want you to know that right now. I can't put them back." "That's okay, doc. I don't want this cyst in my gooch no more. Take it out." So, it is decided. Surgery is penciled in 3 hours' time. The doctor says, "Move all my surgeries to the side. We got Mr. Seagal, doctor. Put him in." So within 3 hours, he's there on the operating table. They have to use more anesthetic that's ever been used on any human being because to try and get Steven Seagal to pass out is nigh on impossible. So they have to get multiple hospitals anesthetic to get him knocked out, and they do. So the doctor is hacking away. "Well, I say, this is the toughest cyst I've ever seen in my life. Nurse, come over here and help me saw it out." And they pull out the cyst. This glowing orb of magic hovers around the room. Oh my God, I've never seen nothing like it in my life. And with a swift dunk into the bin, the seemingly magical cyst is gone. Within 1 hour, Steven has woken up. He sits up. The pain is gone. Steven feels fine. Steven feels refreshed. I don't have that pain in between my legs anymore. I feel fine. He gets up and he's like, "Oh, God, my legs feel a little bit wobbly." Sorry. "My legs feel a bit wobbly."
There we go. Thank you. I almost didn't know. Why is James in the story? Yeah.
And he goes, "Doc, am I going to be okay?" And "Yeah, you'll be fine, Steven. You go on, yeah. You have a little bit of rest, and you'll be rise as roses. You'll be winning Oscars in no time. You'll be fighting off Scourge of the Scum in no time at all. Thank you very much, Doc." So, Steven, thinking none the wiser, goes home, feeling fine. Now, as we know, Steven, he's a sought-after man. People want to come at him all the time, right?
Yeah,
if you defeat Steven Seagal, you are going to be the master of the world, essentially.
100%.
So, as normal, Steven Seagal opens the door, and there are ninjas there ready to fight him. They are ready to throw down. And now, Steven Seagal gives it a tut. Okay, then. Bring it.
I don't know. Honestly, it makes space for the debate. Like, as long as Mr. Miyagi was not there, or potentially even the three ninjas, like, not only three ninjas, the three ninjas. I'm just kind of regurgitating the my heroes growing up. But anyway, not to take away from the absolute mammoth of a man who is Steven Seagal.
Exactly. So we all know the guy's indestructible, can do what he wants. One ninja charges to him. Slap! Hits a slap on Steven. What's going on here? The next ninja, kick, bam, hits him in the head. The third ninja, bam, in the knee. Steven drops to the floor. What's going on? The ninjas look at each other. This is unprecedented. But the respect for Steven Seagal, they back away. They don't believe that this is the one true master, and they slink into the shadows. Steven goes to his bed, and he picks up his phone, and he looks through his emails. Sorry, Steven, we're going to have to reject you from the role. Sorry, Steven, we're not interested. Sorry, Steven, you will not star in Green Mile. Sorry, Steven, you will not be Rose in Titanic. Sorry, Steven, you will not be Godzilla. So he's rejected from all these films. He's like, what's going on here? So, Steven picks up the phone.
Was that Elvis?
Thank you very much. Steven picks up the phone. Doctor, what's happened? Well, Steven, I did notice that cyst seemed pretty magical to me. But unfortunately, that cyst is gone and has been incinerated. Doctor, you've got to re-cyst me right now. Well, as I said, Steven, we take cysts away, but we don't re-cyst here. Not in this place. Damn it, Doctor. What have you done to me? Cut off. And from that point, Steven Seagal has been trying to get that cyst back. And in between his balls and his bumhole, his Gucci, he has a little tub of water to keep his gooch damp as much as possible, to get this cyst back, to bring back the magical cyst that brought the film of Under Siege. And now, every time you watch absolute dive bomb films such as The Foreigner, Out for a Kill, and Half Past Dead, you know that Steven Seagal has a damp gooch. And look, I'm sorry, I've again had to go to the internet and to biographies and not even make up my own stuff and go factual again. But I think it's a remarkable story. And I think it's something that maybe not everyone knows. And that's where we are with it. That's Steven Seagal. That's why he was at the height of his career, almost indestructible. And you can compare the videos of old where he's flipping people that are genuinely coming at him. And I'm telling you now, the ones that you see to this day, unfortunately, are fake. The Steven Seagal as we knew him is no more because he cannot be re-sisted.
When I actually wish this one was recorded on video, because I think the moment of me actually realizing where you were going with that, and he's like, yeah, re-sisted. Yeah. It's actually embarrassingly late, so maybe it wasn't a good.
That was the pony surprise.
It was, yeah, 100%. But no, yeah, man. Good story. I liked it. And I really, and that's the thing when you tell stories, you do it with a fair bit of emotion. So I kind of get into it. And that's maybe why I stop kind of interrupting later on, because I'm like, oh shit, like, what's happening? What's happening? What happened?
Yeah,
so yeah, man.
I mean, hey, whenever you need to interject, it's just what you get. When you get a perfectly straightforward, run-of-the-mill, factual Steven Seagal story, I guess you get engrossed. It's kind of what the guy was back in 1992. Yeah. But there we are. There is our 3-word stories of the day. Next time, we're going to find the place of our first job. Next week on 3-Word Story.
All right. Well, yeah. Up until then,
Share, like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your mum, share with your dog, share with Bobcat, share with Gary Bear, share with Steven Seagal's Gucci.
Cheers, Larry.
And thank you, Larry.
All right.